Greetings. How are you all, students? I'm getting good feedback from quite a few of you. From some of you, I've never heard a word, so please respond to those emails that I'm sending because there's no other way to get in touch now. But some students have been emailing me and asking me about the second painting. And if you're finished the self-portrait, it would be a good thing to start to contemplate it and get something that you want to do. So I'm just going to give a couple of two or three examples, and the first one I'm going to start off is one of my own paintings and how I go about doing it. This is painting of a rooster, and I actually mocked this up so you can see how I started it. Basically, I had an idea that had gone on for a long time of a door that I really liked, that was old and decayed, and it also had a kind of significance for me, you know. So if you're painting something, if it's got significance for you, it always makes a difference. I also wanted a rooster in it, and you know, a Chinese star sign is rooster, animal sign. So I've always been fascinated with those creatures. So I'd seen a rooster, but it was actually a ceramic rooster in Barcelona in Spain. And it was rather expensive, so I took photographs of it. These are some of them here. You can see, and I took lots and lots of photographs, close up, sorts of details. And I used those as the reference material for the painting. So if you're wanting to find something to paint, I know you're indoors now, you're not going to be sitting outside in a park or doing anything, let's face it, like that. So, you know, find some photographs on the internet, or if you've got some that you like, just use those as your, they call it reference material. And you can see here's one that I used quite a lot because I was even mixing paint around the edge there while I was working on the scene. At the start of the painting, I covered the whole of the surface of the canvas in a red, in my case. You can choose whatever colour you like. I like red, it's a kind of bold colour, and I actually copied the image and used pencil and Sharpie, and I'll tell you why. With the Sharpie or an ink marker or something like that, when you come to paint over it, the paint won't cover up what you've drawn. If you do it in pencil, you can cover it up and you won't be able to see what you've done. But with the Sharpie, I was able to go over it, and then when I put paint over it, I would still see the details of what I was trying to do. So that was the reason for that. Now, you might not want to do that. I mean, everybody has their own way of going about things. I'm going to show you the way of this painting, and every painting, believe me, every painting has its own particular energy that it will give you. So after that, I had this setup, and I have here, I don't have the original painting because I sold it, but I have prints of the painting, and this is it. So after that red, I painted on the bit that's furthest away from the eye, which was this kind of white bit of the, if you can see that, the white bits of the wall, the door that was all decayed and the paint kind of rotting out. So I painted that first, then I went over all the areas with the blue paint that was also cracking away. Then I spent a long time painting this horseshoe. And you can see that there's even a little thing in the middle here. So obviously, you know, I'm a highly developed professional artist. I can't imagine that many of you will go to this kind of length of detail, but you know, you might as well see what a true professional does and how to make a living at it. And after I did all that, then I left the rooster for the very end. And you can see that I really went into it very closely. You can see the eye there and everything. And this is just a print of the original painting. So obviously this took ages and it was like a meditation. That's what I do with painting. I'm interested in finding something beyond the surface, you know, so that there is, set this down, so there is a feeling of something inside you. You know, it's like when I was talking about doing the self-portrait, I wanted to get you into the skeleton and then the flesh, then the shadows on the flesh, on the shape of the face, and then the actual hair, skin, everything at the end. And that gives you something inside you, some substance. And, you know, that's really, I think, important. You know, you want to have something of substance to say, and you want to be someone who's not just easily affected by outside circumstances. Here we are now, all marooned in our houses, and some people will get very kind of lost with all this because they haven't worked inside themselves. So they don't have an idea of how to cope with things. They may just spend the whole time on the internet. But if you have an interest in painting and you have an interest in going deeper, it can be an opportunity for you to go inside yourself, find your inner being and strengthen yourself. You know, it's like the man who builds the house with the strong foundations. When the storm comes, the house is not destroyed. The storm is here now with the coronavirus. This is the storm. The man who builds the house with no foundations, the house is just swept away. So what are the foundations? The foundations are inside you. You know, when I show you the painting, a lot of people just think of painting and drawing as cartoons, but obviously, you know me, I'm deeper. I'm interested in looking at it as something to develop the human being, the human being's being, if that makes sense. So that's why I go through all these layers and build up the depth in it. I've also got a couple of paintings here by chance that were done by students earlier, and everyone has their own technique. I motivate people, I teach them techniques, and then they can do what they want with it. This person did a nice simple landscape. She was, it's called Arcadia. It's a nice, quite simple landscape, and you can see that she's got the sense of the sky here, the hills in the distance, and then this, even a red bull sitting there. So you can use any colours you like, you know, it's imagination. And this one was done by this fellow who copied it from a old painting. Now you can do that. You can see that's rather good. He's got a tree coming out of a clump here with this little wooden, we call them styes in Scotland. I don't know what you call them here, but for climbing over kind of things. And this was actually based on an old paintings, and you're welcome to do that. If you're wanting to use something from an old idea, do it. If not, just use one of your own photographs or something like that. Search through the internet. You've got plenty of time to do things now. Make up something. Email me, let me know what you're planning. And this is for those who are ready to go on to the second painting. I know quite a few of you are still working away with the self-portrait, and that's fine. We'll just keep with the thing at a nice, relaxed pace. So that's it just now. You can work out something, perhaps based on what I've just talked to you about, or you can create something of your own vision. The second painting is really up to you, but make it something really, you know, that takes your time and makes you involved in it 100%. You know, something that you can retreat to from the family or from the news, which is constantly about coronavirus, and go and let yourself get absorbed and lost in the wonderful world of art and imagination. So until next time, I will leave you for now. This is lesson number 2 for those students ready to go on to painting number 2. Bye for now. Take care, my dear students. Professor Scott.